What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going back on our BRZ project. As the last video you guys saw, we put power on and we tried to crank this over to get us to start, but it did not. So today I'm going to explain what happened. And we also had another problem. Our headlights would not work, but that was all simple fixes. So let's get into today's video. Previously, we tried to start this car on a known good battery and also a shop battery, and I'm going to put that clip in now. And as you see, the car is kind of rotating about the same on both batteries. It's not really, the starter is not spinning any faster from one to the other. So the fix for that was very simple, actually. As you remember, we had the jumper cables. We had a battery sitting on the floor by the trunk, and then we had a jumper cables running from the battery to our relocation wires in the trunk right over there. So that was just too much. I think that was just too much wire. The wires were too long for that thing to start, and that was the problem. As soon as I came in next day, I actually put the battery in the trunk and it fired right up. So we're gonna start that thing here in a little bit and show you that it does run. And then we had a headlight problem that we had only one running light on the left side and nothing was working on the right side. So I did have to pull the harness back out all the way to the box. And the problem was there was 3 crimps on the previous extension, how the harness was before it came here. It was, they pulled out basically, and we just had to resolder them. So I cut all the splices off and actually soldered and shrink all the wires. So now it is all good. They both work, I should say. One of them has a bad ballast, so this one actually doesn't turn on except the running light. But they both get in all the voltages they should for high, low, and parking lights. So that is all good on that side. But for now, let me get this thing fired up for you guys so you can see it is running. And then what I want to do today is get this box mounted. Right now, just kind of holding it here by a zip tie. I think this is how I'm going to have it. So I'm going to have to make a couple brackets to hold that in the position, and this should be all good. And then we're going to have to come up with some kind of repair for that until the customer is going to run a different harness on that. So let me get this thing fired up and we're going to move on with our day. There you go, guys. She is super loud because we have an absolutely open header right over here, and there's no turbos right now and there's no exhaust. So she is pretty loud, but she does sound very good and healthy, I think. So for now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna mess around with this thing. I'm thinking there's gonna be a bracket that I'm gonna make for the bottom of it to support this corner, and something that will be coming off of this firewall holding on to the back of it, so we'll at least have 2, possibly we'll make 3 points of contact for this fuse box. I don't really want that thing to be shaking driving down the road or rattling. So I got a couple different brackets here from previous projects, and I'm going to see if I can make something work off of that, or I would have to make new brackets, which that's what it looks like. So let me play around with that for a little bit, and then I'll show you what I got. I'm back, guys. I haven't picked up a camera in a little while, so here's my update and where we at right now. I ended up making 2 nice brackets for our fuse box. They made out of some aluminum, nice and beefy, and I'll show you where they go whenever we get to install it. I went ahead and painted them black, so it's going to match the rest of the engine bay. We got some hardware over here to install it, and I also been working on this repair. For guys who remember, we used to have these giant holes right over here from the turbo melting fuse box. So what I did, I ended up cutting out all the damage and then picking up a sheet of plastic, hard plastic sheet, just like your fuse box top made out of, or the cap, and basically tracing this out, cutting it all out, plastic welding it, and then applying some epoxy to the side. So whenever this dries, we're going to sand it smooth, tape it off, and spray it with some matte black to match the rest of the fuse box. So right now we're going to let that stuff dry for a little while, and we're going to come back, get the sanding, get it painted, and then get that thing installed. Alright guys, so repair is now sanded, primed, and painted, and this is what we got. I came in this morning, I let it dry last night, and came in this morning, went ahead and sanded everything, and prime it and paint it. Came out pretty good, I say, better than the giant enormous holes that are in it. So it's I'm not ding that up just now, but I'm gonna let it cure some more, maybe till tomorrow, and then I'll sand that little corner and touch it up. But overall, it came out looking excellent, I think. Now we're gonna go ahead and install it. This is one of the brackets I was telling you well, for me it was yesterday, but earlier, one goes in the bottom, picks up this hole that already previously existed, and the other one is over there. So I'm gonna go ahead now and put that in, and then we'll take a look how it looks. The fuse box is on, and that's what it looks like. The cap is still getting paint. It's actually dry and it's already painted, so it came out looking pretty nice, I think, for the temporary repair until the harness gets switched over. It's way better than having big holes in it. And just want to let you know there's a couple broken studs in the manifold, so we went ahead and removed it, pull the broken studs out, and now I'm going to go ahead and put that in. The cap is over there, actually by the door. The camera won't focus, but the cap is over there by the door, drying right now, and as soon as it's done, I'm going to put that on. So that is all good to go. And we got another issue right now. We actually bled the clutch yesterday on the car because it had some air in it, and then went to put in the gear just to see if it, how it lets go, whatever. And the car actually is not going in the gear. So when it's off, you can put it in any gear you want, but as soon as you start the car and try to engage any gear, it will not go in. Seems like something is actually wrong inside. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this car back up on the rack, and we're actually gonna pull the transmission and take a look, see what's going on in there.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative.
Hey guys, so I ended up pulling the transmission far enough where I was able to see the clutch and the internal slave, and nothing was really wrong. Everything looked good. And I was getting ready to put the transmission back in, and we end up basically actuating the clutch pedal to see if the internal slave cylinder is moving, and we'll be putting pressure onto your leaf springs inside your transmission. So while we were doing that, nothing was happening, and then the slave actually ended up giving out, and one of the seals busted inside, and it just started to leak. So here is what it's leaking from. You kind of see it dripping down right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that transmission back out, and then we're gonna go ahead and replace the internal slave. But at least right now we know what the problem is. So basically probably had a small hole somewhere where it was just letting air into the system, and now finally just gave out completely and start leaking. So kind of happy that we found that, but it's kind of crappy that we have to pull the transmission down. But anyway, this is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'm going to see you next time. Take it easy.